I've got a mechanic rolling underneath a van and there's fluid all across the parking lot.
I need to see in there. Outer housing is ruptured.
It must be bad if he's not saying nothing. Okay, well that's a bad sign. Oh my gosh, yeah, look. I'm looking out this window and I've got a mechanic rolling underneath a van that is tilted sideways and there's fluid all across the parking lot. Let's go check out what kind of disaster we got going on. When I say a mechanic, I'm talking about the mechanic, Jason. If he's under a car out in the parking lot, we got an issue. What are you doing? It must be bad if he's not saying nothing. Yeah. Okay, well that's a bad sign. We got brake fluid sitting there. All that, we call it kitty litter, but all this absorbent. I think that's our issue. Oh my gosh, yeah, look. I got a trail of, I'm assuming since Jason's got brake fluid back here, yeah, I got a trail of brake fluid here. Yeah, okay.
Got shredded.
Yeah, this tire will not fill up with air. So I'm guessing it caught a brake line and ripped that apart. Let's go find out the story. You know, because we're a unique shop, we often see like these emergency roadside breakdowns because we can handle vans that not a lot of other shops can. Not that that's a huge van, but also we have tools and equipment and lifts and mechanics that know how to fix things really quick, really good, so that we can get people, I'm assuming this is a work truck or van, something for this guy, so we can typically get them in, get them out, and get them taken care of. So we see things like this, especially a little bit more odd-sized vehicles. Curious as to what happened, because if you just had a worn-out tire that blew up, or what? Let's find Donald. We got our service manager here. Donald, what's this van? Tell me the nightmare I'm assuming that this guy has been through.
Yeah, dude, scary stuff. So his right rear tire blew out in a construction zone next to the barrier on the wall. So, I mean, he's inches within the wall and nowhere to pull over. So yeah, just keep driving on this thing for, half a mile. The tire took out the brake line. In the meantime, so he's got no brakes. Dude was standing on the brakes just trying to get the van to stop. So finally got it stopped. It's his work truck. He owns the company and it's its only van. So he's got to try and get it back up on the road as soon as possible. So he gave us a call, see if we could help him out. So we're taking him in, cleared out some room for him. We've got Jason looking at it right now.
So how come we pulled Jason on it? I mean, Jason's one of our main guys.
Jason's got a lot of work going, but we're going to try and accommodate. We understand it's a business, and the guy's, depending on getting this truck back on the road as soon as he can. So we're at least going to get it evaluated. Let's figure out what it needs so we can address, parts availability. Can we make something for him? Anything like that.
What about the tire? Because our tire equipment's out back.
Yeah, so his brother is actually bringing us a wheel and tire. He said he'll be here in probably about 20 minutes so we can at least get the van mobile.
Okay.
So right now I can't do anything with it as, with where it's at.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Jason should throw that on there and be pulling it around. How is he gonna get it around? Are we gonna...
Secret. He's got secret sauce for that. Yeah, he's got a secret sauce for that. So, whiskey throttle.
Whiskey throttle. That's my motive.
Yeah. So he's he'll have a wheel and tire in 15, 20 minutes tops. The guy's on his way.
5 minutes later.
This is so cool, guys. We're back out again because I see Tyson, who's our main shop foreman, out here helping Jason. The customer's in a hurry because this is his work van, which is why we've got two of our best out here helping him out. Look at this, that tire is just wrapped. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't blame the guy for, if he was in that construction zone like Donald was saying, you gotta get out of the way. And you couldn't get off in the median or anything because there was none in that construction zone. So he had no choice but to drive it. The unfortunate thing is, looks like it wrapped that tire up really, really bad. We know we obviously have a brake line that's damaged. Hopefully by continuing to drive it, hopefully there was no more damage. This is the part that a mechanic's brain works really unique. Look at what they've done here. They've ratchet strapped some of this tire there to hold it out of the way and try and pull it as they're trying to unravel this. A little unconventional, but as maybe a lot of you know who's ever worked on your vehicle in your garage or out in a parking lot somewhere, sometimes you have to be unconventional to get it done. Oh my gosh. It's wrapped like two or three times over.
So basically they'll most likely have to cut it off then, right?
Yeah, they got these snips here that they're just trying to cut through there. Man. That's a pretty smart way to do it.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Hey, Jason, when you said you were a redneck, this is what you meant, right?
This is
Saving all you Yankees from causing problems like this.
They go through the middle.
Well, you know what they did.
Hey, that's special.
You should have stepped up that day. You should have stepped up to the next size, brother.
Sometimes that bend comes in handy.
I bet it does. Now that you've had it forever, it's like you couldn't live without it. If I could get that caliper off, I would be one happy son of a gun. Oh, this is sharp. Do we have a battery sawzall?
I don't know that we do.
We don't.
We got enough extension cords.
Because if we string it tight, that was connected. Get back in there.
Do you want to try ratcheting the other way? So
I
it'll
did.
Pull it apart. Wouldn't budge?
All right, now it's time to start cutting. Those are piano wire tight. Here, let's see real quick. Yeah.
Nice.
Ah! Now it's time to just.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Put a tire on and take a couple trips.
I need to see in there.
It's all heavy, man.
All I hear is naysaying.
Yeah.
This guy's practically a horse. He neighs so much, man.
Hey,
He neighs so much he can win the Kentucky Derby. All he does is neigh, naysayer. It's funny. He neighs on everything, but he can do it all. You know?
yeah.
He wins everything he does. But he has to, you know, set the tone and make you think that it can't be done, so he naysays it.
That's negative, over.
Yeah, it definitely lifted the front, the back. Yeah.
That's not good. We're going over here, boys. One time, I guess.
All right. Well, the good thing is that Jason says it only hit the soft line.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's not the hard line because the hard line comes over back here, loops around the back of the truck. If it was a hard line, those are on back order. The factory one is actually on a back order right now. So unfortunately, you know, but we do have options. You know, we're able to source these things locally, but I can't get them, you know, for at least a few more hours. So, yeah, worst case scenario though, you you know, he has the skill set to where he can like, cut, bend, and flare these hard brake lines.
That way it's just a quick, easy installation.
Yeah.
Dude, you should have saw how bad it was wrapped around it.
Oh, I kind of saw. That looked terrible.
Yeah, it did.
See, there's brake fluid everywhere.
Uh-huh.
The e-brake cable's trashed.
Okay.
So if he wants to do an e-brake cable, depends on what he wants to do. Either he wants to get back on the road, the e-brake cable's still going to work, but here over the winter, it's going to get salt water in it because the housing's busted.
Okay.
The outer housing is ruptured, so it's going to get salt, dirt, and water in it. And then one day you're going to put it on, and it works, but you can't ever release it.
Yeah.
And so then it gets expensive. Found the ABS wire was broken inside this housing, so pulled the housing back.
Did you guys end up doing the emergency brake?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Just had to fix that wiring real quick.
Dude, you made that look easy.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. I was getting kind of irritated.
All right, Jason, so we replaced this hose.
We fixed the ABS wire.
What
It
was
was
wrong with the
broken.
wire? Oh,
Broken.
Oh, because it's just,
Yeah, there was
Got
one.
destroyed.
Yeah, there's a picture of it in the tablet, but so yeah, fixed the ABS wire, re-guard loomed it, and taped it up, and did all the shrink tube and everything so it's waterproof. And then now we get the weak brakes, put an e-brake cable on it.
did it break that?
It was over here somewhere. Oh, it's over here. See, it breaks the housing, and then water and dirt gets in there, and it becomes the forever brake.
Always on.
Yeah, always on.
Always on.
Also, it sees it up.
Oh yeah, that cable will pull. You'll have enough force to pull, but this spring won't have enough force to pull the cable back. And this cable will be seized right there, and it will just smoke the e-brake, that little e-brake shoe in there.
We've seen that before. People set the parking brake, then go to release it,
And it's always an
still on.
automatic. Yeah, it's always an automatic. Anytime somebody has an automatic, they never use their e-brake. So whenever it's like 10 years old, they put the e-brake on, or a mechanic or somebody that doesn't normally drive it, then it seizes and they got to bring it in.
Yeah.
So
See, there's that spring. There's the new cable. Beautiful. This brings us to the original question, his tires. So they look not great, but
are they E-loads?
not enough to blow this up. Because this, you know, I don't know the condition of the other one before it blew up, but this, we're not seeing any cords. We've got a little bit of tread left.
Yeah, but you'd have to go in and cross the date code.
Yeah.
You gotta find the date code first. That'd be your date and manufacturer code right there. They all have to be individual.
Yeah.
And everybody does it differently, so you can't. I can't tell. It's not like a VIN number where number 8's the motor, number 10 is the year. It's not like that. Everybody does it differently, but they have to keep track of it.
But now we're putting on a thicker tire
That's his spare.
Yeah, but the tread's thicker, so he's gonna have,
Spider gears.
yeah. So we're gonna let the customer know that the concern. So first off, we've got a tire that's 245 75 16, and this is a, just to make sure we got the same tire here. Oh, 245 75 16. Okay. So we've got two 245 75 16s, but the difference in tread here compared to that are, this is way thicker, that's a lot less thick. The concern is then you have tires that are trying to spin because they're thicker at a different speed, and that difference as it's trying to rotate is affecting in here, in your differential. On an all-wheel drive vehicle or four-wheel drive, stuff like that, it can affect your transfer case and other things, because again, you have a larger tire and a smaller tire. That's a big difference right there, but one will try and rotate faster than the other, and that will cause that binding, which could cause your differential, transfer case, other things like that to blow up. So that's a big concern. We'll need to let the customer know that before he goes down the road, because we fixed a problem, but we don't want another problem to happen without his knowledge about it. So he needs to get another tire now. So for everybody, to recap here, on a two-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive vehicle, or front-wheel drive, depending on what you have, on whatever axle is being driven, you need equal size tires. On a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive vehicle, you need to have all of them be the same size, which is why it's important to rotate the tires often, so that you are keeping all of those tires or thicknesses as equal as possible, so that you're not creating that binding. So on this, which is just a rear-wheel drive van, both rear tires have to be as close to the same diameter or size, tread depth, other things like that as possible to avoid binding. Okay, so we're almost at completed, so that we can get this guy back on the road and busy, because this is what he uses for his business. We've still got to bleed the brakes, so we'll show you how that's done. A few final touches, we'll go out and test drive it, make sure everything stops and works great, but almost at a wrap.
Pump it up. How's it feel?
Wow. How's it feel?
It feels, I'd say it feels pretty good.
How's it feel? Normal?
Feels like a work truck.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we want, realistically.
Right. This is not a grocery getter. This is not.
I mean, I could make it into one.
This is man's van.
Done?
Successful fix, huh?
Hell yeah. Let's get it to the customer.